Hi guys, welcome to lesson 3, writing expressions from word problems. So today, before we move on, I like to circle the questions that we will go through. So for writing, for the first part of our worksheet, we'll do all the even numbers. So 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. For our second part, evaluate equations, we'll do 2, 4, 6, 8. And for our word problems, we'll do number 2 and 3. Okay, so let's move on to our questions. So today we're going to be focusing on expressions in word problems. So expressions will be variables such as x or n used as a substitute for unknown amounts of an object, an item, or the thing that we're substituting for. So let's move on to our questions without any further ado. So number 2. A number x is multiplied by 4, then 5 added. Write an expression for x. So a number x is multiplied by 4, then 5 added. This was a very simple question since it was just straightforward and we just had to write it in the order it was asking us. There were no tricks, nor twists. Let's move on to the next question. A rectangle has a length L, so we don't know how long it is, and a width of 6. Write an expression for its perimeter. So let's draw a model on the side so it's easier to understand. Let's draw a rectangle. The length is unknown, and we know the width is 6. So it's asking for the perimeter. To find the perimeter, you have to add up the sides of a shape. So there's 2 answers for these questions. So if you get any of them right, you're correct. Yeah. So we can be straightforward about it and just add up, write them in a format of just adding them all up in addition. It's like 6 plus 6, the 2 sides, plus L plus L. That's our first answer for an expression that can work for this question, for this word problem. Or we can do 2 times 6 plus 2 times L. Since there's 2 of each, and 2 times L, 2 times 6. So there's 4 sides. Let's move on. I would recommend getting comfortable with mixing up, using like a variety of expressions, like signs, not only using additions, since it will be much cleaner and easier to solve. But if you don't want to, it'll be fine. Number 6. Number y is subtracted by 9, then multiplied by 2. Write an expression for y. By 9 multiplied by 2. This is wrong, actually. The reason why this is wrong is because you gotta focus. You gotta be focused about what the question is asking for. So it's asking number y is subtracted by 9, comma. So this comma actually indicates that it's emphasizing that the number y should be subtracted by 9 first, and then it should be multiplied by 2. So in this expression that I have made as an example of what's wrong, I'll point out the issue is remember PEMDAS from our last 2 lessons. So in this situation, in this expression, while the question number 6 is asking for y to be subtracted by 9 first, In this equation, the PEMDAS rule comes into action, and it prioritizes 9 times 2. It makes you multiply first, which is not what the question is asking for. So to avoid this issue, this problem, we'll have to use parentheses, then multiply by 2. This way it separates these two equations and allows you to subtract first and then multiply. So that will be our answer for number 6. Let's move on to our next questions. Number 8 and 9. So number 8. Add 6 to a number k, then double it. Then double it. Doubling is multiplying by 2. So again with the then, that's also saying that after we get the answer for this first part, we'll multiply it by 2. So parentheses, k plus 6 times 2. Nice. Number 10. 2 is added to x, comma, and multiplied by 2. So commas and thens, they indicate a pause in between, and they're emphasizing that these should happen first. Okay, so let's write that down in parentheses. 2 is added to x, multiplied by 2. Okay, nice job. Let's move on to our second part of the worksheet, evaluating equations. So we're going to do all the even numbers. So number 2, a car travels r miles per hour for 3 hours and a total of 150 miles. Solve for r. So in this equation, in this problem, we have to find out how many miles does the car travel. How many miles does the car travel per hour? So we know how much it did travel, but we don't know how much it travels per hour. So we'll solve this by multiplying the hours, since hour times the number. So we'll multiply the hours to our variable r, total indicating the equal sign of 50 miles. So if we ran for 3 hours and we got a total of 150 miles, how it will tell us how many miles per hour did we run, did the car run for. So we'll divide using algebra, and then you'll get r equals 50. So the car traveled 50 miles per hour. Nice job. Let's move on to our next question, number 4. Twice a number plus 7 equals 21. Solve for the number. So this one would be twice a number plus 7. So twice a number. We have to solve for the number. We'll be using the variable n for this. So twice a number, 2n, or 2 times n, plus 7 equals 21. So we'll add, let me rewrite. So 2 times n plus 7 equals 21. We'll solve by subtracting, because we have to leave n alone. So we'll subtract both sides by 7, which will leave us with 2n equals 20 equals 15. No, equals 14. And 2n divided by 2 on both sides, we get n equals 7. Nice. So number 6, number a is doubled and 6 is added. This equals 18. Solve for a. So an a is doubled, so 2 times a, or I'll be writing it 2 times a, or 2a. They both mean the same thing. And 6 is added, plus 6 equals 18. Solve for a. So again, subtract 6 on both sides, and then you get 2a equals 12, and then 2a equals 12 divided by 2 on both sides, and then you get a equals 6. Nice job. Number 8. Half the number, a number plus 5 equals 12. So I have to solve for a number. We'll be using n. We'll be using the variable n to substitute for the whole word a number. So half a number, or n over 2. N, since half a number plus 5 equals 12. This will be our equation. Let's subtract 5 on both sides first. Then get n over 2 equals 7. To get rid of a fraction, a division fraction, we'll have to multiply by its reciprocal, which will be 2 over 1, or just 2. Then you get n equals 14. Nice job. Let's move on to our last two questions, word problems 2 and 3. So a store sells apples at $2 each. Sarah buys 8 apples and spends $14 total. Find A. So since each apple is worth $2 and A represents the number of apples she bought, and we have to find out how many A apples did she buy. And in order to do that, we have to write an expression. So it says we got information that the store sells apples at $2 each. So we'll do 2 times A. And then she spent a total of $14. So we'll do a total of 14. So find A. To solve this, we'll divide first. Then we'll just get our answer. A equals 7. So, which means we got our answer. Sarah bought 7 apples in total. Okay, number 3. Mike has twice as many baseball cards as Tom. Together they have 54 cards. How many does Mike have? So 54. We'll be using the variable Tom to represent Tom, since Mike has twice as many cards as Tom. So 2t plus t equals 54. We'll add these. We'll first add, which will get us to 3t equals 54, and then divide by 3. We'll get 18. However, this won't be our final answer, since the question is asking for how many does Mike have. This one is telling that Tom has 18, but we need Mike. But we know Mike has twice as many of Tom, so we just have to multiply the answer by 2, which is 18 times 2 is 36. So Mike has 36 cards. That will be our answer. So for the rest of the remaining questions, I'll leave them so that you could solve them all by yourself and practice. Okay, bye. Great job.